Okay, let's get started with the Uniden HomePatrol #2 radio scanner. We press and hold the power button on the upper right edge until the unit comes on. And now we see the welcome screens. And now the scanner is loading the favorites list. These are the predetermined programmed frequencies that will be monitored by this scanner. At the top, you'll notice that we have San Diego and Imperial County RCS Next Generation, and right underneath it, and this will change, you see Next Gen Fire Northcom and Next Gen CBD PD for Carlsbad Police. So those are illuminating based on the respective favorite list that is playing. There are two favorites lists that are being scanned right now. Let's see if we manage to hear something on either of these two favorites lists right now.
31 Edward.
31 Edward en route.
37 Paul route.
37 Paul en route. 38 en route.
And it'll return to scanning. Let's see how we might adjust the favorites that are being scanned by the radio. Let's hit the menu button, and we have these 8 choices presented to us. We're going to go to this one called Manage Favorites List. Now it's hard to read, but we're going to be tapping this top one. Let me tilt the scanner so you can read it better. This says Select Database to Monitor. So we tap that, and the second one down says Use Multiple List. We're going to tap that. Now what we see is a list of all the different favorites that are pre-programmed into this scanner. And we can use these arrow keys down and up to review all of the different favorites that are available. So we could turn on, for example, coverage for CHP by touching this and causing it to be illuminated. We could come back down and we could toggle any of these others off and on. Here's Next Gen for Sheriff's Department. Now, the thing that's very easy to miss, let me show you what that title is, Next Gen Sheriff's Department, it's easy to miss this tiny button down here that says Accept. And if you just jump back or you just jump to listen, your commands will not be accepted and acted upon. So we must tap Accept, and it starts doing some calculations here. It'll start loading now all 4 lists that we've toggled, and now it's loaded 154 different frequency channels that will be listened to that are contained in the 4 lists.
What is the RP? What vehicle are they in?
Here comes a CHP call now. And we know that because it's right here. That's the name of the favorites list. And it'll also show up in department and channel. So by keeping an eye on this tiny blue print, you know that those favorites are indeed being scanned.
49
Now, this channel just came active, and I tapped it to lock it. You'll notice that there is a small indicator of a padlock. It will stay on this frequency, which, by the way, is called Law Dispatch, and it's 39.4. And this would be one way to stick with this broadcast to hear the completion of the call. If you want to adjust the volume buttons are on the top left edge. Now you'll notice that this is sticking on here, and if for some reason when you want to leave this to get back to scan the other parts that are pre-programmed, tap this and it releases it. Now if it's the next most active, it'll come back to it. And this raises an issue of another feature that we might want to discuss here in a moment, called avoiding a channel. Let's see if we get another example of that. Okay, I'm going to lock this right now. let's say that this is a channel that's busy, but it's not one that I want to pay attention to, and I want to tell the scanner, ignore this for the moment. So on the far right edge, you'll see an arrow pointing inward. If you tap that, you get some choices. And the top one is avoid, and then there's some other choices. So let me tap it again. If I say avoid, whoops, I hit the wrong button. Channel avoided. Channel will be temporarily avoided. So let me hit that again. Now it's no longer avoided. This comes up pretty fast, so let's try it again. Avoid. It's temporary, and I can say okay. And the word avoid is presented down here. I'm not sure it's easy to read right now. There you can see it. So this is telling me that this orange one, base San Diego 87, will be avoided. Let's release it and see if it comes back. We know it's a busy channel. The fact that it's not coming right back again is indicating to me that the avoid is being acted upon. So it's temporarily avoiding that. Now, you saw I made a menu choice to make that a temporary avoid. In other words, when I power this scanner off and power it back up, that avoid will be eliminated, and that channel will be again scanned. Once again, let's review how we might change the favorites. We go to Menu. From Menu, we go to Manage Favorites List, and we select the top one, which is Select Database to Monitor. The next one we tap is Use Multiple Lists. And now we're presented with the lists. If I tap one, it toggles it between off and on. So CHP would be scanned now. CHP favorite will not be scanned now. So let's go through and review the rest of our settings. Let's turn off Next Generation Sheriff Department. And let's leave it with the default condition for this scanner. The default condition is to scan the Next Generation Northcom Fire Dispatch and the Next Generation Carlsbad PD. So the scanner will be delivered to scan initially Northcom Fire Dispatch and Carlsbad PD. But if somebody intervenes and starts doing programming with Menu, Manage Favorites, Select Database to Monitor, Use Multiple Lists, and they go in and they start adding things like, let's listen to the Marine channels. And they say accept. Even through a power down and power up, we now will have 4 different favorites that will be loaded. And that may not be what you want. If you want to focus on 1 or 2 favorites, it's wise to turn the others off so that the scanner doesn't waste time going out and searching those frequencies. Let's do that. Menu, Manage Favorites Lists, Select Database to Monitor, Use Multiple Lists, tap CHP to turn it off, tap Marine to turn it off, tap the down arrow to go see what is turned on. That's what we want. Next Gen Fire, Northcom Dispatch, Northcom Fire Dispatch, and Next Gen Carlsbad PD. Again, we must tap the word accept. It's now doing its magic. It's now limiting it to 69 channels, and we can keep an eye up here to see what favorites are being scanned. Sure enough, Northcom Fire Dispatch and Carlsbad PD. So we're back to the starting state of affairs, if you will. Let's go ahead and power down by pressing and holding. You're going to see a screen that talks about the battery issue. I tap it again, and then I tap all off.